presentation is urban transformations towards society 5.0. This is the right-hand side is society 5.0. From the left-hand side, society 1, hunting and settlement revolutions, starting for the farming, and society 3.0 are started by the industrial revolutions, and now is in society 4.0, and the digital era already started, but for society 5.0 is aiming to the cyber-physical fusion, which what I would like to talk with it. But before that, I would like to explain a bit history of the city forms and the functions related with these kind of the changing and the shifting of the socioeconomic systems in the past. For instance, in society 2.0, this one is the Carcassonne. City itself is a walled place. Then outside of the wall, there are many serfs, agriculture slaves lived there, but inside the medieval laws govern the area. This is a typical forms of the city. But at the same time, this time is, yeah, of course, ancient time and medieval time. Basically, the high class of aristocrats govern only their own societies. But after the starting of the modernization, new types of the people, that is a sort of meritocracy, we said, someone who made effort, of course, but who got education and some of the chances, who can work. Sometimes those people are coming to the prime minister, government official, or some important roles, they can do it. Now is in the meritocracy time. But in society 5.0, the Yuval Noah Harari said, we shifted for the useful class and the useless class. Yeah, of course, new mental reward class or new wealthy class are coming, but people are saying now, especially in the United States, the techno-libertarian or some other new types of the tendencies are becoming, and also people are starting to play a game. Your son, your daughter, probably they use 2 or 6 hours a day to play a game. But not only for the play a game, like Nintendo or something. The social media is also a sort of the game they played. And finally, we cannot do, I couldn't grasp where we are going in the future. But today, I'd like to talk about city expansions with the spatial cycle model. This one, the Claassen proposed in 1983. The first stage of the city itself is the centralization stage and the economic growth. We are familiar with, not only for Tokyo, but also there are many megacities experienced. But in Bangkok is now to expand for the next second stage. Ebenezer Howard proposed at the beginning stage of the industrial revolutions. They proposed for the satellite cities, which is a sort of decentralization and another to say with the economic growth expansion together. Then in the United States, they are control for the stopping of the urban sprawl or something to set up for the city planning methodology of the urban growth limit setting drastically. Bangkok is now in this period for the suburbanizations ongoing rapidly. But to over suburbanization, that is so-called the third stage, decentralization time, and economic declining. This is a donuts phenomena or a sponge phenomena. The inside of the city becomes degraded, so on. And the inner city problems occurred. Then this is left side is Paris, and the right-hand side is London. Most of all, the intercity connections, railways, started from the peripheral of in suburban area. But the inner city are connected by the subway or something, and airports are located outside of suburban, so on. This is a typical diagram, the simple diagram for connections, the typical city structures under the society 3 and 4, so on. But nowadays, most of all the megacities in developed countries in fourth stage of restarted it again for the centralization, but the economic itself is declining. Then likewise, donut empty areas are revitalized by the new wealthy class only can purchase for. That is a gentrification or gated city style, so on. But at the same time, those kind of the empty land revitalized again. Then likewise, High Line in New York, that was old train elevated railways. And another type of the Barcelona, the super block systems omit cars inside of the blocks, pedestrians mainly, the high amenity, so on. In Osaka, before, there are big cargo terminal in the main station of Osaka, Umeda area, but now, left-hand side, it is developing now for redevelopment ongoing for the making a big park, garden park, so on. And then, yeah, railway cargo terminal moved to the other places, but this one is using for the high amenity the people to work, to live together with the high amenity, so on. And this place is the important role for the evacuation refugees in case of the big quake or a big disaster occur. But this is a mathematics. Someone feel a headache. But usually, we easy to recognize the real number. But in mathematical sense, one of the biggest findings is to find the imaginary numbers. In quantum theory, Schrödinger equations is starting I, imaginary number. That is usually in the mathematical sense, horizontal line is real numbers, but the complex number is combined together, A plus imaginary number B. That is the vertical axis. This is the same thing occurred in the city. For instance, someone borrowed the office, but only putting onto to the server where and what kind of job they do it. There are already many of the industries and the commercial activities are directly connected, and the main activities are occurred in the cyberspace. This is the similar things occurred, and they also losing some of the opportunity for work or labors in near future. But the people originally to play game, the Homo Deus and Homo Ludens, and the reality is broken, written by the Jane McGonigal, wrote, people wish to play a game or gamification style of the management with more rational social management will be. But Richard Duke already proposed in 1974 the gaming is the future language. In city development and urban planning process is needed for the dialogue to talk of the future issues and by the multi-stakeholders and to talk likewise round table style to discuss, to imagine the future. Sooner or later, the city planning permit for the urban agriculture building and also location free for the logistic terminals or some other drone terminals like Amazon's, so on. And rural area, no farmers, automatically robotics of the unmanned tractors work. What I'd like to say is now still ongoing for the two types of the, of course, in the planning field, civic tech or mini publics, deliberative democracy, participatory technology assessment, or strategic environmental assessment. The people are involved for the participatory ways, but digital transformations and AI and the fourth industrial revolution started for city OS, IoT, of course open data and the API connections, which are becoming to the expand for the smart city with the hardware style, but the regulation is needed, that is so-called super city style, then digital twin or XaaS. Mobility as a service is also the multiple way for the connections, seamless way so on. But during the COVID-19, many of the digital transformations and the digital substitutions are accelerated. But at the same time, techno-feudalism or some other AI surf also rised in behind. Then the city cycle model becomes to change the next stage for the innovation-driven society in digital transformation, and at the same time, to people play a game or social management and the city management becoming like a gamification style of digital twinning. And also, after that, Society 5.0, the cyber-physical fusions becoming. But if we lose our ways, it becomes techno-feudalism also arise to the big portion, so on. But James Lovelock said, people are disappeared. The whole globe, the earth becoming a connection. Yeah, of course, human beings are still alive, but the people are connected as in the infosphere, the Anthropocene, so on. So, but already people are play and live using outside of the hard currency of Thai bahts. For instance, many of the people are play a game, esports, using only for the token usage. Of course, play and clearing of some terms of the game, someone who get a weapon or tokens, which can trade in the cyberspace currency, so on. But to talk about sustainability and resilience, usually in engineering sense, sustainability is needed for whole environment outside of entity and inside of entity. If without water, ship cannot do float. But in the resilience itself is a sort of the roll or pitch or yaw recovered, so on. Then there are many proposals for city OS. This is the ontology. Already in engineering and in city management, we can connect all of the instance classes activities to describe in a program artificial language. This is ontology, object-oriented, extended one. And Society 5.0, every phenomena, someone who work those kind of the phenomena are projected into the cyberspace. During the COVID-19 we experienced, where high density people are gathered or so on. But already in the game, this is a Unity, many entertainment games are developed, this platform. The 50,000 entities, agents, are worked together automatically. Someone who play PlayStation or something, but we can manage. Then government already provided for the static three-dimensional city mapping or something, but it can do work for the more dynamics of the car behavior, pedestrian behaviors could be written or simulated again. But people, this is a posthumous work of the Jane Jacobs. We need to go back to keep our society for the sound society in the future for the 5 central pillars like this. But human beings is not AI. We have a different emotional sense of places into the local uniqueness. Sometimes we need to know who I am. That is a personal identity base, but that is coming from, of course, family, parents, friends, school time, or something. But sense of places constructed geotechnical properties, inheritance, or that is so-called place identity, and place attachment itself, and the place dependence, so on. These kind of the festival or local uniqueness to keep, that is also the important thing to build for the future society, our human being side in city development. This is my new types of toward the 21st century sense of the dynamics of changes, shifting, so on. Thank you.